Hey Internet, Eric here. Monstrous March continues, and we're still marching through the Pumpkinhead patch, discussing the franchise. Whew. It's interesting how the route franchises go sometimes. You know, we started theatrical, and then we went straight to video, and now it's a made for Sci Fi Channel movie. Today I'm discussing 2006's Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes. Yeah, that's the poster. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. Um, Basic plot of this is, bear with me, we're in the same town, I guess, or area of the first film. This is a direct sequel to the original film. It has nothing to do with Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings. I don't blame them, even though I loved that movie. Um, and Doug Bradley, the man who's known mostly for playing Pinhead in the Pinhead franchise, he is the town mortician, I guess you would say, and he's got his group of minions, and one of them is a grown up bunt from the first film. Um, he's basically harvesting organs from people of the town. You know, they die, or well, not necessarily they die. Some of them are murdered, and he's harvesting organs, and his instead of cremating the bodies, he has Bunt and his minions dump the bodies in the swamp, and bodies are found, and the family members of the victims want vengeance. They know about the witch Haggis. They see her, they see her in the town. They know about the witch Haggis. They know about the legend, and they go to her to deal with, conjure a Pumpkinhead, take care of Doug Bradley, Bunt, and the others, all while the ghost of Ed Harley, played again by Lance Henriksen, is tormenting Bunt, I guess you would say. I don't. Okay. On paper, that sounds like crap. With the whole ghost of Ed Harley and mortuary guy harvesting organs. But it's not as bad as I was expecting. Now, first off, I was very worried because when I turned this on Tubi, I don't care about made for sci-fi because I've seen so many made for sci-fi movies that I think are bad and it ends up being good. Leprechaun Returns was fucking fantastic. That was a made for sci-fi movie. Anyways, I was kind of worried when this first started with a 4-minute opening title credit sequence, and it literally just says Pumpkinhead, Ashes to Ashes in a really bad font, really bad CGI, and it's nothing but the people's names, the cast names, everyone behind the scenes for like 4 minutes. Really, really bad graphics showing the names. But it's not as bad as I expected. The acting, Lance Henriksen, don't get your hopes up. He's in this movie combined 5 minutes, but he's Lance Henriksen. He's always good, no matter what. If he's in a great movie or a pile of crap, he does fine. Doug Bradley, he's fine. He's here collecting a paycheck until they get the next direct-to-video Hellraiser movie. I think this was before he quit the franchise. I believe so. But he's fine. He's really nothing special. He doesn't even like when he's Pinhead. He has this sort of regality to him. He's prim. He's proper before he rips your throat out. Here he's just there. He doesn't even have that. He does kind of feel like he doesn't want to be there, but he's not awful. Um, the character who plays the grown up Bunt. If you don't know who Bunt was, go back to the first film. And Bunt was, because remember I said there was the mom and pop kettle kids. Buck Flowers was the grandfather. Bunt was not necessarily the oldest, but then again there was like 20 children or something like that. Bunt was the one that showed Lance Henriksen where to get to Haggis the witch. And then he decided to try to help redeem himself at the end by saving the original cursed teenagers, I guess you would say, by trying to help them get away from Pumpkinhead. This actor is gone full hillbilly, messed up teeth. He's still wearing overalls, but he does a fine job. Fine. Well, fine's kind of overstepping it a little bit. Like when he's afraid, I buy it. He's good at playing a dumb bumpkin, but when he's like starting to air quotes lose his mind when he's afraid of Pumpkinhead and Pumpkinhead's gonna get him, blah blah blah. It's a little too over the top for me, but he does fine. The people that work with him, I guess he's got a brother that works with him. I don't know which one it was because, like I said, there was like 20 of them. And he's got a sister that's addicted to meth or coke or something. She's not very good. He's the only one that wears overalls. So if these are newer members, if it's a grown-up Mayim Bialik and the younger brother that was picked on, in the first film, I have no idea. They're just there. They're nothing special. Although in the final, I guess you would say sequence, the one girl, the sister, she and her lover are getting attacked in a hotel or a motel, I guess you would say, or something. It's not in the fucking cabin in the woods. I think it's a motel. She's high on drugs, and all she does is giggle while Pumpkinhead kills the guy. Pretty fucking stupid. Other characters, there's a sheriff. Doesn't do much. Don't care. The main, I guess you would say, kids who are invoking the vengeance. Don't care about them. I don't hate them. They're just kind of there to feel the pain of when Pumpkinhead's killing people, kind of like, what Ed Harley was doing. They'd convulse, they'd roll their eyes back, they'd shake, and then they'd look freaked out. That's it. There's nothing much to them. The main person, I guess you would say, I think her name's like Molly Sue or Peggy Sue, or I don't know, Sue, it doesn't matter. She's the blonde, I guess you would say. She's I can call her the main one because we see her the most, and she's the one that really invokes this, because her victim was her baby, and yeah, harvesting baby organs. That's kind of rough. The only difference with her is we do kind of get to see her fully possessed by the spirit of vengeance. That's not Ghost Rider. You know what I mean? Because Ed Harley had that happen. Where his eyes turn like red and bug-eyed and stuff like that at the end. Where she pulls a gun out on I think she pulls a gun out on Doug Bradley, and she tries to be scary and intimidating, and she fails. And then we have the witch Haggis. The makeup isn't as effective, I guess you would say, as the first film. Makes sense because Stan Winston is not involved. Instead of looking like this skinny 200-year-old crone, she looks kind of like current Meg Foster, like Meg Foster looks like right now, where the skin is so old it looks like beef jerky, which is maybe the look they were going for, but it just isn't the same. However, I will say this, the actress who plays Haggis has the Haggis voice. Like if you binge watch the franchise, like I'm watching it now, she's got the voice down perfectly. She sounds just like this actress. She is kind of creepy, so she has a decent performance. Pumpkinhead himself, I'm torn. I'm very, very, very torn because it's not. It's man in rubber suit, okay? It's nowhere near as good as Tom Woodruff Jr. in the original film, but Man in Rubber Suit looks a lot better than Pumpkinhead 2 because I guess you would say at least the claws aren't like so big on the man's hands, like the extra like 2 inches of the fingers like just don't hang there. When you see Pumpkinhead move, the jaw moves really, really, really well. So I think that's a definite improvement. It's more streamlined. It's a lot darker, like in color. So because maybe it's because a lot of the times we saw the Pumpkinhead in the first and second film, there was like backlight and light that was supposed to be lightning and stuff like this. This guy is like full on blackish brown. And I'm talking about like shit colored. So he's hit and miss when he's not CGI. He's hit and miss. But when he's CGI, there's no fucking excuse. You shouldn't have even done these goddamn scenes. He uses his tail as a weapon a lot of times. There's a fucking scene where I think they're in the motel, and the tail breaks through the wall, and it's just the tail whipping around, and it is 2006 Sci-Fi Channel CGI. It is bad. It is inexcusable. They shouldn't have even... If they knew it was going to be this bad, they shouldn't have even like done this scene. It is laughable bad, and I don't even think it fucking kills anybody, so it's just a waste of time. But But the ungodly scene where there is no, oh my god, where it is you're gonna laugh at it, and it's not because it's funny, it's because it's so horrible. There's a scene where Pumpkinhead is going to go into a church. And it's not Sunday morning. He's going to go into a church. And he's going to go after, I think, because Doug Bradley's in there. And it's during a service. And he busts through the window at the very, very top of the church. You know, the glass shoots in towards the crowd, kills the preacher. Well, not doesn't kill the preacher, but his face is impaled with a bunch of glass. And we have CGI Pumpkinhead. And I'm talking about, like, if you've ever seen Jason X, like, you know, when they're flying in the spaceship, and it's like something you guys, like, I graduated in 1999. It's something I probably could have done in high school with, like, those type of computer graphics. Looks awful. Like, he's like, the window's busted open, and it's a circular window, and he's literally sitting on his ass with his hands outstretched and his feet dangling down. It's like a little kid is like sitting on the ledge of something trying to wave at you. You know what I mean? Hey, look at me, I'm up here. It looks ungodly. So the costume, like the actual Pumpkinhead himself, when he's physically there, although he looks like a piece of shit, like color wise, he looks good, and the way he moves and the animatronics or however it's done. But when it's CGI Pumpkinhead, he should have been flushed. I do like the concept of Bunt. I made it seem like it was dumb in the very beginning. How, you know, the ghost of Ed Harley's there. But Bunt being tormented at first before Pumpkinhead's even being conjured up is really, really cool. I like that because he feels guilt. You know, not just because of what he's doing, like he's helping Doug Bradley hide these bodies. He's feeling guilt of what happened to Ed Harley because he feels blame. He feels the blame for doing it because he's the one that showed Ed Harley how to get to Haggis. And he's constantly like losing his mind, especially when Pumpkinhead comes forth because now he really believes he sees Ed Harley. I like the twist that Ed Harley is the new Pumpkinhead. And what I mean by that is, because this is connected to the first movie, if you remember, Ed Harley had to go out to the Pumpkinhead patch, dig up a dead body, one of the dead freaks, give it to Haggis, she does her ritual, and boom, Pumpkinhead. The body that is used is Ed Harley's in this movie. And you know it's Ed Harley because he's still got the necklace from his little boy that he was buried in, that Haggis buried him in when she buried him in the patch. Again, it's a mixture of good and shit. Lance Henriksen wakes up. He feels pain. We see some really good animatronics of his hands stretching and this and that. And then when we get to the full CGI transformation, looks like garbage. I don't get it. I don't know what the budget was, and I just don't get how they thought they could get away with it and it would look really, really good, because it doesn't. And then after he's defeated, we have to go through the whole thing that we've seen before. Pumpkinhead can't die unless the people who conjured him up are dead as well. We're down to the final girl. She sacrifices, because I like the concept. They think they can get past the curse if they give a proper funeral to the victims. So they're cremating everything, cremating all the bodies. And that didn't work, so the final girl alive cremates herself. Pumpkinhead falls down dead. And it's, again, high school CGI. Pumpkinhead falls down, morphs into like a... First off, it's like a snow effect. Like, if you're my age, remember when you lost cable and there was the snow effect, like the with the static? It's that type of effect on like on the TV. You have that type of effect with the Pumpkinhead body, and then it morphs into Lance Henriksen, and then it just disappears in that bad CGI. Garbage. And the movie just kind of ends there. Haggis grabs a body, buries him in the Pumpkinhead patch, and, she goes about her merry ways, goes to watch her stories. I don't fucking know. I'm very torn on this movie. Wasn't as bad as I expected. Is Pumpkinhead ashes to ashes good? Fuck no. But neither was Pumpkinhead 2, and I love that one. This scene here. Let's talk about the gore. There isn't much gore. Thanks for the poster helping. There isn't much gore, but there is a lot of blood. Like, there's a scene, I just showed you the poster. Bunt and his sister and a couple other people are in prison. They are in jail. They get arrested because that's where they find the dead bodies. That's when they find the dead bodies. Pumpkinhead shows up, and he takes his sweet-ass time ripping a dude's head off. Um, blood is shooting everywhere on the wall. Blood is shooting on the ground and dripping on the ground, but we don't see the gore. We do see one person impaled on the top of the church, but the rest of the stuff is just people coughing up blood, getting shot, stuff like that. So it is a bloody movie, but it is not a gory movie. Um, Anyways, back to what I was saying. Is Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes great? No. Is it bad? Yes. But so is Pumpkinhead 2. This one's fine. I liked the Bunt character. I liked how they brought him back. They mention what happened in part one. They show some clips of part one. So in case you're wondering who the fuck is this big giant hillbilly, now you know which kettle kid he was. Um, Doug Bradley was there to collect a paycheck. That's fine, but the close-up shots of when it's actually a man in a suit and if it's animatronics, Pumpkinhead looked great. But then when we had the movie's never boring. I like the concept of it's the town going to Haggis, trying to get revenge for on a serial killer. There are some good concepts. There's some good things. The Lance Henriksen thing isn't as dumb as it sounds, but it's still got that bad CGI kick to it, and that just it's like eye rolling. Anyways, so it's decent. I didn't hate it. I didn't feel like a chore watching. It's not like a fucking Wild Eye movie or Sharks of the Corn or any of that other bullshit you can find on Tubi. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. I gotta get ready for work. Comment below. Have you seen it? Am I full of shit? Is this movie worse than I'm saying? Do you love it? Um, Coming up next, Pumpkinhead 4 or Pumpkinhead Blood Feud. All I know is it's made for Sci-Fi. We have the ghost of Lance Henriksen again. Same actress who plays Haggis is in it, and it's about modern day Hatfields and McCoys, like literal. It's the Hatfield McCoy family. Don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be fucking interesting. Cheers.